does the shape.
Right. Strengthening it up.
Yeah. As I do that, every time I shape it, I'm compressing the clay too. Just like the bottom. You know, so whatever you want to do, we're gonna push this out pretty good. Close this up. Same technique. My right hand's doing all the work. My left hand's just keeping it stable. Lots of speed, lots of water. Closes the neck up a little bit.
And that's the thumb forefinger.
Yeah, since it's so wide, that's just the thumb and middle finger, just that 2 finger. As I do those smaller and smaller, taller bottlenecks, I'll switch over and I'll do 3 points like that. Really want to make sure there's no slip on that shoulder. That's where it's going to go. If it does, that's where it's going to collapse first. I can also shape from the inside. This one's a little trickier. I'm not ambidextrous, and I still have to be on the right side of my pot. So I can't hold this thing with my left hand well. So what I like to do is hold it in my right and flip my hand upside down. I'm going to shape from that right side just like this. Now when I use the rib on the inside, I'm going to use the curved side. So anytime it's on the inside, it's the curve. Anytime it's on the outside, it's straight. I just want to make sure that the sharp edge is away from the clay. The clay can gently slide through it. And then I basically just taking my hand and bending at my wrist and pushing it out that way. So just for the sake of the demo, I'm going to say that the shape is fine. Push that out just a little more. Something like that. I can also use this rib on this tight curve at the top and the bottom. And push in. This is a nice way to get like a little flared out rim. So I'm kind of just like leaving my rib in one spot and then pushing the clay around it to take that form. If you ever have a little wobble in your rim, which I do a little bit, you can take your pin tool, hold it like a pen so my hand's pretty high up it. I don't want to be back here because it just like bounce around, so I have more control like this. Hold it like I'm gonna write. Keep my middle finger or something ready for it, so I'm gonna slowly push. I don't want to stab myself. And every time it does a full rotation, I just go a little deeper until I meet my finger and lift. Now I'm going to take that chamois cloth.
Does it matter which side of the cloth you use?
No, it's the same on both sides. Make sure it's nice and wet, and then I take my fingers. They're going to be on either side of the rim, so I'm not touching the actual rim. I'm curving this and applying a little downward pressure gonna make a nice round rim and compress it. So if you're if you're doing something functional, like a glass or stein or something, it's not gonna be sharp later on with the glaze. And I'm gonna take my wood knife. We're almost at the end here. This guy is a little tricky, so you might want to come over my shoulder here to see what I'm doing. This one gives everyone a little problem in the beginning. You use the sharp side. It's going to be towards me so that when the clay hits it, it splits like that. And I'm going to start high. So I'm going to pick my angle. And again, every time the clay does, the wheel does a full rotation, I get to go down a little bit further. This is nice and slow with your hands. I see a lot of people, they take it and they push it, they're on the bat and they push into the piece like that. You don't want to do that because you'll knock it off center. So it's natural. You're always going to have extra clay at the bottom here. Nothing you can do about that. As you get better and better, it's going to be less, but you're always going to have something, and that's why we always trim, but I'm just giving myself a little head start for next week. So after I do that, I was here. Now I'm going to keep it sharp at the bottom, chop down in front of me, push it to the left over here, hold it steady, and spin the wheel nice and slow. And you see the clay just go right towards me, like that. So all that stuff I would have had to trim next week, I don't have to now. And I can clean this up just by using it like as a rib, basically, just at the bottom there. We're gonna trim it anyway, but not a big deal. I'm gonna just grab a wire tool real quick. You always want to make sure once you're done with your piece, you're happy with it, you want to make sure you wire it because as the clay dries, it shrinks. So if it's locked into it's not wired off, it's going to get locked up, and as it shrinks, it has nowhere to go but to crack. So you want to wire it. So I just wrap it up nice, tight, keep my thumbs on it. As long as my thumbs are down at the bat, I know I'm all the way through it. I can spin the wheel if I wanted to, or just keep it steady, It's not really that much of a difference. I just go through, just make sure that your thumbs are all the way through and you're just gonna pull through like that. And the nice thing about these throwing bats, this whole thing can come up so you don't have to rush the pot. We can put it in the drying area. And you're gonna check these walls. They're probably pretty thick for this demo, just because I was rushing, but let's see. So you can take a look here at my walls. Not terrible, they're even, but there is, like I said, you're gonna have thickness at the bottom, so next week I would have probably trimmed whatever, something like that off. And then down here at the foot, I'll show you how to trim, but we'll do, something like that off of here. That would all come out, and that would get trimmed. Just like that. So that's how I throw.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you put that back together?
Yeah, sure. Slip and score it.